Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to RobMotive. So, how many different trim levels are there for the new Toyota Tacoma? What does it cost, or what does each one cost, at least the base price? And what kind of fuel economy does it get? I think the three basic starting points if you're looking for a new Toyota Tacoma. So, let's jump right in. On the screen here, you can see we've got the lowest trim level, which is the SR. Base price $31,590. And it's supposed to get 20 and 26 miles per gallon. Now, this is still the detuned, I've heard, I-Force 2.4 liter turbocharged engine. Toyota chose to kind of knock this one down a little bit. I'm sure most likely to get people to want to go up to the next trim level. Still not very satisfying if you happen to buy an SR and didn't realize this. Next up, we've got the SR5. Comes in at a base price of $36,220, and it gets 21 and 26 miles per gallon. Really not much different than the SR version, but you get a little bit more power. It's kind of tuned up a little bit, a little more horsepower than what you get in the SR version. Next to that, the TRD Pre-Runner. This is Toyota's access cab version. Strangely, they made it so that the rear doors, there really aren't any, don't open up because there aren't any. You open the front, slide the seat forward, and you can reach behind the seat to an extended cab area, if you will. Now, I have heard Toyota is not building very many of these. They're pretty hard to find, but they are out there. Pricing $38,120, 20 and 24 miles per gallon. And still we have the same engine, a little bit more horsepower than the SR, I-Force 2.4 liter turbocharged engine. Let's move on to the next one. We've got, of course, the TRD trim line. First one that's mentioned is the TRD Sport, tuned for sportier driving, I guess Toyota says. Base price of $39,400, 20 and 24 miles per gallon. And the same turbocharged 2.4 liter engine is what we get actually in the TRD Pre-Runner, I believe, and the SR5. It's actually the same engine and all. It's just kind of the way Toyota has them set up. And by the way, if you check out this pricing, really not that much more than what it used to be base-wise. But keep in mind, this is a pretty base truck, and you're not going to get a lot of the bells and whistles that you would get in the new version. Moving on, we have a TRD Off-Road. Starting price, $41,800. I remember when they used to be really in the mid-30s. But anyway, $41,800. Fuel economy-wise, not very good. 18 and 23 miles per gallon. Toyota certainly didn't make any big leaps in fuel economy when they went with this new 2.4 liter engine. I'm not sure. I think they did it mostly for probably emissions and governmental requirements. That's really about it. Moving on, we have the Limited, kind of the more luxurious truck, I guess, of the line. It gets 20 and 23 miles per gallon and has a hefty price tag of $52,555. This truck at the base level would be priced too high for me. I won't spend any more than 50 grand on a mid-sized truck, and the Limited certainly is beyond that. Next, we have the TRD Sport I-Force Max. We're now getting into the hybrids, the electrified versions. That's the, I guess, I-Force Max designation. Pricing on this truck, $46,320 base, 22 and 24 miles per gallon. Again, it does have the same powertrain with the inclusion, I guess, of a hybrid system for a little bit more power and supposedly a little bit more fuel economy. If we go over to the TRD Sport Regular, remember this is 22 and 24, we're at 20 and 24, so really not a huge improvement. Price-wise, $46,320 versus $39,400. So what are you really paying more money for? I guess the power. I guess that's it. Let's move on. We have the TRD Off-Road iForce Max, again the hybrid or electrified version. $46,420 is the base MSRP, and it gets 22 and 24 miles per gallon. A bit of an improvement over its brother on the non-hybrid side, but still a decent amount more at 46,620 when we look at 41,800, right around $5,000 more for this truck. Moving on, we have the limited iForce Max. This one, if you look at the pricing, $55,880 versus $52,555. So now we're only about $3,000 or so more for this version, the hybrid version of the iForce Max Limited. Fuel economy, 23 and 24. Still not that great, but it's creeped up a little bit, I guess. Now, we move on to the big daddies, really the tops of the line, I guess, unless you include the Limited to be there. I really don't. We have the Trail Hunter. What was a forerunner the wrong word. It was the one that I wanted most when these trucks first came out. I thought I'd get a Trail Hunter until I saw the price and it was above my $50,000 threshold, right? Anyway, $62,000. This is a Tacoma. $62,735 base with a fuel economy rating of 22 and 24. I don't know, what do you really get? You get the hybrid system. You get more cosmetics. I know there's other mechanical things, but you get the wheels and the tires, and you get that rack on the back or roll bar or sport bar, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. Is it worth it to you? I know there's also a snorkel on this, I believe, which can drive some people kind of crazy. Moving on, and I believe the last level that we have for the Tacoma, and they're showing it in this new color over here, it is, of course, the TRD Pro. Coming in at $63,735 base MSRP, and it's getting a whopping 22 and 24 miles per gallon. I don't know. The problem I have with this truck really is the interior setup. I love the looks of the truck. I think it's awesome. But those isolator seats it has in it, you know, those kind of shock absorber seats, they take up all the room in the rear. And it's not like the Toyota Tacoma has a ton of room for back passengers anyway. So you realistically, I think, if you're going to go for the Pro, you kind of knock this truck down to a two-seater. I mean, yeah, you could squeeze some people in the back, I suppose. They probably are not going to be very comfortable and not very happy with you in the end if you do that. So those are the 11, what Toyota calls unique grades to choose from in the Tacoma. I'm curious, from a fuel economy standpoint, it looks like 24 miles per gallon on the top side, or the highway side, is the top. Let's look through real quick. And yes, that looks to be the most that you can expect to get out of a Tacoma. No, I take that back. It's not true. It looks like 26 if you want to go for an SR5 or an SR. So you're going to get a little bit better fuel economy there. That's not too bad. On city driving, I think we're probably looking at about 23. Looks like 23 on the limited iForce Max. And that's it. So the highest you're going to get is 26 on the freeway side with the SR and the SR5, or 23 on the city side if you go with the limited iForce Max. Of course, if you do that, you're going to lose the freeway part of it, so it's probably kind of a wash. Anyway, for me, the sweet spot is probably the SR5. Honestly, the SR5 is really probably the trim level that I should have gotten. But I stepped it up. I went to the TRD Sport. I had a 2024. And of course now, the TRD Off-Road in a 2025 version. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Still too high priced? I got to believe everybody still thinks that. But what trim level, what unique grade would you be interested in? I'd just be curious to know. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there.